There we go. So we're right on 6 o'clock, and I will invite you to turn to page 5 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidchem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll go to page 11 for Psalm 95. Here is a Hasidic melody. Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, haladonai. Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, haladonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nekarma fana betoda. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, Bizmirot narialo, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, ladonai, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, ladonai. Let's share this responsively by little groups on page 11. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Great is Adonai, a greater sovereign than all other deities. God's hands formed the earth's deep. Mountain crests, too, are God's work. The sea is God's, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hands. Come then, let us bow and kneel. Let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai, who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands. And let us go to page 13 for Psalm 96. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai Baruch Shemo Basaru Miyom Leyom Yeshuato, Sapru Bagoyim Kivodo, Bechol Hamim Niflotav, Gadol Adonai, Hulal Meod, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, Ki Kol Elohim Amim Elilim, Baronai Shamayim Asa, Od Veharar, Lefanav, Oz V'Tiferet B'Mikdasho, Abul Adonai Mishpachot Amim, Abul Adonai Kavod V'Oz, Abul Adonai Kavod Shemo, Sehu Minkam, Ubo L'Chatzrotav, Hishtachavul Adonai B'Hadrat Kodesh, Chilu Mipanav Kol Haaretz, Mruba Goyim Adonai Malach, Avtikon Tevel Baltimot, Yadin Amim B'Mesharim, Yismechu Hashamayim B'Taget Haaretz, Ya'amayam Umelo, Ya'alos Sarai, V'chol asher bo, Az Yiranenu Kol Aseyar, Ibnei Adonai Giva, Giva Lishpot Haaretz, Yishpot Tevel B'Tzedek V'Amim B'Emunato. And on page 15 and 16, we have Psalm 97. How if we do this one in English? Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice. Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine, righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about. Flashes of lightning illumine the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, the approach of the master of all the earth. The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and all the nations see God's glory. Worshippers of idols should be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme must bow before God. Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. I'll switch over to the little caret on the Hebrew side. O have Adonai sin urasho merenavshot chasidav miyad rishayim yatzirem. Or zaru ala tzadiko yisraelem simcha. Simchu tzadikim baronai, vehodu lezecher kodsho. And on page 17 and 18, we have Psalm 98. Mizmor shir l'Adonai shir chadash ki niflo rasa hoshi alo yamino uzroa kodsho. Sing unto Adonai a new song, for Adonai has wrought wonders. God's right hand and holy arm have brought deliverance. Adonai declared deliverance as the nations looked on. God's righteousness was revealed. God dealt faithfully and kindly with the house of Israel. The very ends of the earth saw God's saving power. Call out to Adonai, all the earth. Break out in joyful singing. Sing to Adonai to the music of the lyre. Lyre and voices, making music together with horns and shofar cries. Trumpet the presence of the sovereign Adonai. And that's, of course, describing the temple orchestra. And, well, you look at the last part of the English, here is the same thing in Hebrew. Yiram hayam umalo devel b'yoshabeva naro jimcha ucha v'yachararim yiranenu Mipnei Adonai giva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek ve'amim b'meisharim. Pages 19 and 20 are Psalm 99. Adonai malach yirgazu amim yoshev kruvim tanud haaretz Adonai b'tzion gadol v'ramhu al kol ha'amim. Adonai is great in Zion above all nations. They shall acknowledge your holy name, saying, Great, awe-inspiring Holy One. Take a look at the top of 20. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon the divine name, called to you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai, our God. Adonai Eloheinu Adon Idam El Nosei Ayit Alayhem Enokem Alalilotam Ramamu Adonai Eloheinu B'Shakavu Le'ar Kodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. So one thing that I've been doing here, given the Sephardic heritage of half of this place, is doing Sephardic melodies when I know one. And on page 21, we have one of those for Psalm 29. Mizmor leDavid, Havud Adonai b'nei Elim, Havud Adonai kavod vos, Havud Adonai kavod shemo, Shachavud Adonai be'adrat kodesh, Kol Adonai alamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai almayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai beharar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, Vayarkidem gemo egel, Levanon v'Sirion, Kemo v'Remim, Kol Adonai chosev lahabodesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, Vayechesov ye'arot, Uveichalo kulo, Omer kavod, Kulo Omer kavod, Adonai lamabul yashav, Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai ozle amo yitein, Adonai yivarek et amo v'shalom. And the Sephardim actually include et amo, et amo, et amo v'shalom. But we can switch back to the Hasidim for our Lecharodi, 23, 24, and 25. Hold on to your kippah because this moves a little faster. In fact, this moves a lot faster. Lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmiyanu elam yuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem l'tiber v'litehilam. Lecharodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nekabela. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מכרם ניסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך רודי לקראת גלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך רודי לקראת גלה, בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך רודי לקראת גלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך רודי לקראת גלה, בני שבת נקבלה. 24. Eat na'ari me'afar kumi, leave shibide di partechami, al yad ben ishai beit alachmi, kareva el nafshi ge'ala. Lecharodi likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. Heat oriri, kiva ore, kumi ori, uri, shirda veri, kevod Adonai alai iknigla. Lecharodi likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. Lo, te bo shiva, lo, ti kalmi ma, shitochachim, umatehemi, bach, yakasu ani, ammi v'nivnetai, aldila, lecharodi, likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. 25. V'hayu l'shimsa, shosayik v'racha kukol, mevalayik, yasis alayik, Elohai, kimsos chatan al gala, lecharodi, likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. Yamin usmol, tibrotzi v'et Adonai, ta'aritzi al yarish ben parsi, ben ismecha ben agihila, lecharodi likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. We face the entrance. V'oi v'shalom, ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'tzolam, toch emunei, bam segula, boi chala, lecharodi likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. Lecharodi likrat gala, b'nei shabbat nekabela. On the top of 27, we have a little introduction to Psalm 92. Mizmor shir, leyom HaShabbat. Mizmor shir, leyom HaShabbat. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and to sing your name, Most High, to proclaim your love at daybreak and your faithfulness each night. Finger the lute, pluck the harp, let the arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked may flourish like grass, and evildoers may blossom, only to be destroyed forever. But you, Adonai, are exalted for all time. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As a wild bull raises up its horn, you raised my head high, anointed it with fresh oil. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like the cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of our God. In old age they remain fruitful, fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. And at the little caret on the 28 in the Hebrew, there is a beautiful choral piece for this. Tzadik kadamar yifrach, Gerez balvanon iske, Shetulim beveit Adonai, Bechasrot Eloheinu yapriku, Odin nubun besevam, Dishenim rananim yiyu, Leagid ki yashar Adonai, Suri, Suri, Velo Avalatabo. And for Psalm 93 on page 29, we can share this English. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned, Adonai, you are eternal. Rivers rise up, Adonai, the rivers raise up their roar, the rivers raise up their waves. Above the roar of the vast sea and the majestic breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands supreme in the heavens. Your house, Adonai, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. And here's a summary of that ending. Mikol lohot ma'im rabim adirim mishbereyam adir b'marom Adonai erotecha nemnu mod levetecha nabakodesh Adonai lehorech yamim. So, I've been doing my sermon after the Amidah. As long as we've got a pattern going here, let's go right on into the first part of the evening service, starting on page 39. Let's see if we want A or B. What's the difference? No, looks like we get a more complete one in 39A. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'baro mari b'arabim b'chokmo potech sharim u'b'tbuna mishaneh itimu makalif et hazmanim v'saderet b'kochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of heaven, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons, and arranges the stars in their proper places in the sky, creates day and night, rolling away light before darkness, darkness before light, who makes day pass into night, and who distinguishes day from night. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzavot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamidim lo kalenu leolam va'ed, Baruch Adonai, Hamari v'aravim. And now we go to 40 for the paragraph about God's love. With timeless love you have loved your people Israel, Adonai, the house of Israel. You have taught us Torah and mitzvot, statutes and laws. Therefore, Adonai our God, as we lie down and as we rise up, we shall speak of your laws, rejoicing in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever. Ahavad olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Avdam Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limaretam Al kein Adonai Eloheinu shokveinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toradecha u'mitzvotecha l'olam va'ed Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu U'behem negeh yomam v'layla Ve'avadecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael, page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta heit Adonai Elohecha, kol levavecha, kol nafshecha, v'kol meorecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Sher anochi mitzavka yom al levavecha Shinantam levanecha v'dibartavam Shivteka v'vedecha v'lektecha v'derek u'shofeka v'kumecha Shartam le'od al yadecha Ve'hayu le'toravo b'neinecha U'ktavtam Al mezuzah beidecha uvish arecha. So let's do the middle paragraph to ourselves. And then we can chant strope to the bottom paragraph. This is all on page 42. Ki mei hashamayim al haaretz, vayomer Adonai al Moshe lemor. Bottom of 42. Daber al bnei Yisrael v'amarta alehem v'asu lahem tzitzit al kanfei bigdeihem ledorotam v'natenu al tzitzit ha'kanav v'til techelet v'haya lachem litzitzit ur'item odo uzkartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam V'lo taturu acharei levavchem v'acharei nechem asher atem zonim achareihem lema'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem geroshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hoseiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet v'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu ku Adonai aleinu lein zulato v'nach Yisrael amo. So we are at the first blessing after the Shema, which is on 43a. Let's see. Let's just do the first part of this in the English. This is our enduring affirmation, binding on us, that Adonai is our God, and there is none other, and we, Israel, are God's people. God is our sovereign, redeeming us from earthly rulers, delivering us from the hand of all tyrants, bringing judgment upon our oppressors, and just retribution upon all our mortal enemies, performing wonders beyond understanding, and marvels beyond all reckoning. God places us among the living, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. Let's leave it at that and pick up on the top of 44 with the Hebrew. Malkuto b'ratzon kibelu alehem Moshe u'Miriam u'bnei Yisrael lekanu shira b'simcha rabba yamru kulam Mi kamocha b'elim Adonai mi kamocha ner b'kodesh Nora tehilo no sefele Nora tehilo no sefele Malchut kara uvanaka bokei ayam livnei Moshe zelianu v'yameru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed V'nemar kibir Adonai et Yago ugalo miad chazak mimenu Baruch Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. And on 45, we have the beautiful Hashkivenu asking God to take care of us at nighttime. Let me just start a little bit of the Hebrew, and then we'll switch over to the English. Almost sounds like a lullaby. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim Ufros aleinu Sukat Shalomecha V'taknenu Beitza Tova Milfaneka V'hoshihenu Leman Shemecha. So that part of it was, allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully and awaken us to life, our sovereign. Spread us over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, swords, starvation, and sorrow. Remove evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. For you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Ushmor tzeitenu v'oinu l'chaim u'shalom me'ata v'ad olam. Fros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Baruch atah Adonai. Haborei sukat shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim. And on 46, here is a very, very gentle melody asking God to grant us protection on Shabbat, literally, V'sham Maru. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We're saying that we have observed Shabbat. Hashkivenu was asking God to protect us. We are saying in return, we shall observe Shabbat. But because it is a quiet day, this is a melody which really fits that. Top of 46. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam b'ridolam Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael ot le'olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim Ye'aretz Uvayom Hashevim Shabbat Vayinavash Uvayom Hashevim Shabbat Vayinavash. So let us turn to the Silent Amidah, 47 through 52. If it's your custom to include the matriarchs, we have the left-hand side of 47 and 48, and we'll reconvene afterwards. So let's kind of sum up with a gentle Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimrumav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimrumav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. So it has been my custom on the times I've come here to, on Friday nights, use this time to give just a very brief overview of the Torah portion, of which we will only chant a little piece tomorrow. But this picks us up in the middle of the Joseph saga. Last week, we had the whole experience of Jacob identifying Joseph as his favorite son, but with the coat, and having sent Joseph to find his brothers after Joseph told them some dreams. Joseph met a person kind of in what's now southern Israel, and he said they went that way to Dotan, which is where the town I live in was named from. And the brothers, rather than killing Joseph, sell him to a caravan that takes him to slavery in Egypt, and ultimately he is framed for being naughty with the wife of the person who bought him, Potiphar. So even though he was innocent, he went to prison. And today's Torah portion, this Shabbat's Torah portion, picks up with, after Joseph had already accurately told dreams to his fellow prisoners, Pharaoh has a bad dream. And that's going to be of the cows and the grain, and the cupbearer finally remembers that the dream interpreter is in prison and brings him out to interpret Pharaoh's dream, which happens. Then the Pharaoh appoints Joseph to watch over Egypt and to set aside food during the good years for the coming bad years. The next thing that happens in tomorrow's Torah portion is that the brothers have to go down to Egypt to get food, and Joseph sees this as an opportunity to find out whether or not they have changed. And so he frames Benjamin, who is his blood brother, the same mother, and it's kind of left in tomorrow's Torah reading as a cliffhanger as to whether or not the brothers are going to actually defend Benjamin. And then, next week, the whole thing is going to come out okay, and the brothers are reunited, and Jacob comes down to Egypt, and that's how the Israelites wound up in the land of Egypt to be there for the Exodus. So, I have, at several occasions in my long career, I have had groups of students do Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. So, as a teaser, I would like to sing two songs that actually applied to last week's Torah portion, but if you come back tomorrow morning, you will hear some things that are relevant for the Torah portion that we're going to read tomorrow morning. So, I won't do the whole thing. I'll just pick up at Joseph's coat. Joseph, he was Jacob's favorite son. Of all the family, Joseph was the special one. So Jacob bought his son a coat, a multicolored coat to wear. Joseph's coat was elegant, the cut was fine. The tasteful style was the ultimate in good design. This is why it caught the eye. A king would stop and stare, and when Joseph tried it on, he knew his sheepskin days were gone. Such a dazzling coat of many colors, how he loved his coat of many colors. It was red and yellow and green and brown and blue. Joseph's brothers weren't too pleased with what they saw. We have never liked him all that much before, and now this coat has got our goat. We feel life is unfair. And when Joseph graced the scene, his brothers turned a shade of green. His astounding clothing took the biscuit, quite the smoothest person in the district. It was red and yellow and green and brown and scarlet and black and ochre and peach and ruby and olive and violet and fawn, and about 10 other colors that they list. So here's setting the scene for what's going to happen this week. Joseph's coat annoyed his brothers, but what made them mad were the things that Joseph told them of the dreams he'd often had. I dreamt that in the fields one day at wheat collecting time, your 11 sheaves of wheat all turned and bowed to mine. And then I saw 11 stars, the sun and moon and sky, bowing down before my star, made me wonder why. The dreams were more than crystal clear, the writing on the wall meant that Joseph someday soon will rise above them all. The accuracy of the dreams the brothers did not know, but one thing they were sure about, the dreamer has to go. Yikes. Next day, far from home, the brothers planned the repulsive crime. Let us grab him now and do him in while we got the time. This they did and made the most of it. Stole his coat and flung him in a pit. Let us leave him here all alone, and he's bound to die. When some Ishmaelites, a hairy crew, came riding by, in a flash the brothers changed their plan. We need cash, let's sell him if we can. Poor Joseph, what you gonna do? Things look bad for you, hey, what you gonna do? Could you use a sly, traveling bunch of Ishmaelites? Young, strong, well-behaved, going cheap, and he reads and writes. In a trice, the dirty deal was done. Silver coins for Jacob's favorite son. So the Ishmaelites galloped off with a slave in tow, rode to Egypt where Joseph was not keen to go. He was right, they put him up for sale. In the end, they threw him into jail. Poor Joseph, locked up in a cell. Things aren't going well, hey, locked up in a cell. And that brings us to tomorrow's Torah reading. So come back in the morning and you will hear more songs on this subject, written by the same crew. This is, let's see, Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber, who I think are famous for having written some other very popular kind of operettas, so to speak. Anyway, let's do Aleinu, and then I'll read the yahrzeit names, and we'll read Psalm 23 from the back of the book in lieu of Kaddish. And we'll finish with Yigdal, and we'll make Kiddush outside. So, Aleinu is on 56 and 57. Aleinu Shabbat. Whoops, that's supposed to open the archive. Sorry. Okay. Shabeach Ladon HaKol, Lategedula Liotzer Bereshit, Shalo Aslanu Gibuye Aratzot, Lo Samanu Kmishpakot Arama, Shalo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Begor Aleinu Kekol Hamonam, Vanafnu Koreim Umishtakali Mumurim, Ibne Melech Melkei Amalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehunot Hashamayim V'yosei Haaretz, Moshavi Karov Hashamayim Mimal, Shkinaru Zo, Goveh Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emmelgeinu Evesazulado, Hagadu Vidorado, Yadadayom, Hashevoda El Levaveka, Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim, Hashamayim Mimal, Yaretz Mitachat Einod. Then all who on earth will understand and know that to you alone every knee must bend, all allegiance be sworn. Let all bow down and prostrate themselves before you, Adonai. Treasure your glorious name. Ki malchut shelka hiu al me'adim lo bekavod, Hagadu b'doradecha, Adonai himlok leolam ba'ed, V'ne'emar, Ya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, Vayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad, Ushmo echad. So the Artside names that I have are Victoria Capolato, Giora Skady, Aaron Aronov, Rose Elizabeth Baker, David Brenner, Lillian Ginsberg, Isidor Steinberg, Rose Abramson, Edward Klein, Joseph Fleischman, Ina Orange, Ida Kishner, Minnie Segal, Isaac Schwartz, Ben Sharker, Akil Mandelbaum, Sherry McNamara Sr., Regina Miller, Oscar Schernbaum, Abraham Wasserman, and Ira Herman. And lacking a minion, let us turn all the way to page 337 for Psalm 23. Let's do this in English. Adonai is my shepherd, I shall not want. God lays me down in green pastures, leads me to still waters, renews my life, guides me in right paths, for that is God's way. Though I walk through a valley as dark as death, I fear no evil, for you, God, are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You spread a table before me in full view of my foes. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Only goodness and steadfast love shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of Adonai forever. Rabbi will be back on Monday, so there will be the Monday morning service. There is religious school on Sunday and Sisterhood Book Club at the home of Amy Labovitz. There's breakfast on Monday too, and Minion with breakfast on Thursday. And then Rabbi will be back for the Kabbalat Shabbat next Friday night also. So, Let us finish with Yigdal on page 62. Yigdal Elohim Chai V'yishtabach Nimsa V'yehenei Del Metziuto Echad V'yein Yachid K'yichudo Ne'elam V'gam Ein Sof Le'achduto Ein Lo Demut HaGuf V'yein O-Guf Al Naharo Keilav Kedushato Kadmon L'Kol Davar Asher Nivra Rishon V'yein Reshit L'Reshito Hino Adon Olam V'kol Notzar Iragedulato Malchuto Shefa Nebuato Netano El Anshe Segulato V'tifarto Lokam B'Yisrael Kemoshe Od Navi Umabit Et Munato Torat Emet Natan Le'amoel Al Yad Nevi O Neman Beito Lo Yachalifa El V'lo Yamir Dado Le'olamim Le'zulato Sofe V'yorei Asetareinu Mabit L'sof Davar B'kadmato Gomel Lish Chesed K'mifalo Notein L'Rasha Ra K'rish Adom Yishlach L'Ketz Yamin Meshichenu Livdot Mechakekes Yeshuato Metim Yechaya El Berov Chasto Baruch Harei Ad Shem Tehilato Metim Yechaya El Berov Chasto Baruch Harei Ad Shem Tehilato. Thank you, those of you who came online, for joining us tonight. Thank you for being here in person. And I will wish y'all, or all y'all, as we say in South Alabama, to make it plural, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. And see you tomorrow morning.